Hi, everybody, and welcome to our geometry unit. It's the last unit of our year. So make sure if you haven't already, please go to the topics page and go to unit 11, which says geometry, and print out the notes. And then grab your notes so you can follow along. Okay, so what we have here are a bunch of definitions, and you're going to need to read through all of these definitions and vocabulary and look at their pictures so you can kind of understand them, okay? Okay, so once you read through all of these definitions, then let's scroll down to the bottom, or to the next page, I should say. Okay, so once you've read all those definitions and vocab, let's go ahead and see if we can define some of these things we have here. So it says, state the measure of the angle. So we have angle POT. So if we look here, we have POT. And if you look on the top right here, it's an obtuse angle. We know it's greater than 90 degrees. So you want to use this top value here. So angle POT is 120 degrees. So 120 degrees. All right. And let's go ahead and do number 2. We have SOR. So if we start at S, O, and we go to R. So if we look in between here, we have S, so it'd be 5, 10, 15 degrees between S, O, and R. Each one of these tick marks here is 5 degrees. So 15 degrees. All right, why don't you pause the video and try to do 3 and 4 yourself. Okay, so hopefully you got for QOU 145, and for angle VOS, that was 90 degrees. Now for the next one, it's saying name an angle whose measure is given. So if we're looking for a 45-degree angle, remember, each tick mark is 5. You have to try to look and say, okay, which one is going to give me a 45-degree angle? And if you look right here, angle TOR would be 45 degrees. So again, every little tick mark is 5. So you have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So you could say angle TOR. All right, it says try to find an 80-degree angle, then a 105-degree, and a 10-degree. So again, why don't you pause the video and see if you can figure out an 80-degree angle, a 105-degree angle, and a 10-degree angle. And again, every tick mark on here from one to the other is 5 degrees. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So 80 degrees, we have QOS. Again, if you count every tick mark, that would give you 80 degrees. 105, I have angle VOR. Because remember, this bottom number is 100, and they went over one more, so that's 105. And 10-degree angle, POQ. All right, so for exercises 9 through 12, they're saying name 5 different line segments in each group. And remember, from one point to another point is a line segment. So this point right here, we could say D, E. And remember, a line segment always has a bar on top of it. And then we have this segment from here to here, E to F. And then we have this segment from F to G. So we broke it up into 3, but they want 5 different line segments. Well, we could also say the whole thing from D to G is one line segment. So I'm going to indicate that as DG. So now I have 4, and then I can pick one more. So I could also say from D to F. That's another line segment. So D to F. So here's 5 different line segments within that one big line segment. All right, so you can go ahead and look through these ones and see if you can figure out 5 different line segments for the diagram. So pause the video, please. Okay, so what you hopefully noticed about 10, 11, 12, you could have made more than just 5 line segments. So for 10, here are just 5 that I came up with, but you could have had different ones, like LJ could have also been a line segment, or JK. But since they only asked for 5, I gave 5. Same thing with 11 and 12. You could have done other answers than I have here. For example, TR would have been another line segment. And for number 12, I'm I should put the line segment over this. You could have had like PL or LQ, which I didn't include here because it only asked for 5, but you can get a lot more than 5 out of these couple of problems. All right, so for the next part, 13 through 20, they're asking for to classify it as acute, obtuse, right, or straight. Remember, acute is less than 90. Obtuse is greater than 90 degrees. Right is a 90 degree, and a straight is 180 degrees, like a straight line. It's called a straight angle. Okay, so we have angle FOE. So that is an acute angle because it's less than 90. 90, so we're going to put over here acute. COF. So this one right here would be your 90 degree angle, COF. So this would be our right angle because it's 90 degrees. Okay, so why don't you go ahead, pause the video, and see if you can do the rest of them. Okay, so I hope you had a chance to look through these. I know it's a little close together, but 15 we got acute, 16 obtuse, 17 acute, 18 obtuse, 19 FOA, so right here, FOA, it's a straight line, so it's a 180 degree or a straight angle, and AOC is a right angle. All right, for the last part here, it says graph the solution set of each sentence on a number line, and then identify the graph as a point line or a line segment. So if you had x equals 1, and you had a number line that said like, I don't know, 0, 1, 2, then we would put a point at 1. So x equals 1 would be a point. If you had x is greater than 2, so again, if you had a number line and you said this is -2, this is 0, and this is 2, x is greater than or equal to, well, you'd put a solid, because it's including it, circle, closed circle, and everything greater than would be to the right. And this shape right here would make a ray, because a ray has a starting point and it goes in one direction towards infinity. So why don't you pause the video, try the rest of these, and see what you get. Okay, so for number 23, when we graph these, -3 to 0, so x is in between, so everything in between here, it's a segment. For 24, you had to go ahead and solve, and once you solved for x equals 2, you got x equals 2, so if you plotted that, it's a point. This one, sorry, it's a little hard to read, but you had to solve, so we have -6 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 4, so it's everything in between, so you go from -6 to 4, so it's a segment. And same thing here. You have 0 is less than x, which is less than 1. If you turn it around, you can say x. So 0 is less than x, which is less than 1. So everything between 0 and 1. So it is a segment. All right, and if we go down to the next page, what we have here is called segment addition. Okay, so for segment addition, they have this line here. So they have RS, ST, and if you put it as one segment, it's RT. So it has these two parts in it, RS and ST. So they want us to find this length here. So I'm going to call this length X or ST. So you would say 6, so RS plus this part, X, is equal to the whole thing of 14. So when you go ahead and solve this, to solve for X, you need to subtract from both sides. So subtract 6. So you get X equals 8. So that segment, you could say ST is equal to 8. All right, so for, I'll go ahead and skip to number 3. LK is the unknown, so I'm going to put this as X, and LM is 5. And the whole thing together is 15. So we have X plus 5 equals 15. And again, if we're solving for this portion KL, which we named as X, we could subtract 5 from each side. So we get X equals 10. So you could write KL, or segment KL, is equal to 10. Okay, so now these next ones here, same idea, except they've just added a little more to it. So we have this portion LM is 5. MN is 2x minus 7, and the whole thing is x plus 7. So we're going to say 5 plus 2x minus 7 is equal to the whole thing of x plus 7. So again, what we need to do is combine our like terms on the left side first. So we have 5 and negative 7. So I have 2x minus 2 equals x plus 7. So then we're trying to solve for x. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides. So I get 3x. I'm going to add 2 to the right-hand side. So add 2. So equals 9. So then I'm going to divide each side by 3. So I get x equals 3. And since they wanted us to just solve for x, not plug it back in, I can stop right there and say x equals 3. All right, so why don't you pause the video right here, try to do the rest of the problems on this page, and then I'll do another one with you on the next page. I'm sorry, this one is wrong, number 3. I just noticed that. I had to subtract x from both sides. So here I get 1x, and then I had to add 2, which gives me 9. So I get x equals 9. So forget about what I said earlier in the video. Subtract x gives me 1x, not 3x. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at our answers here. So segment IJ is equal to 10. For number 4, segment BC is equal to 6. Number 6, x is equal to 10. Number 7, x is equal to 3. And number 8, x is equal to 0. All right, if we go to the next page, again, it's the same thing, except now they're giving you the length of the whole segment, and you have to solve for it. Here on number 11, they're telling you to solve for this portion. So let's go ahead and do number 11 together. So again, you have LM, so x minus 2, plus MN, 2x minus 5, is equal to the whole length of 14. So let's combine our like terms. X plus 2x gives us 3x. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7 equals 14. So we're going to add 7 to both sides. So we get 14 plus 7. So we get 3x equals 21. We're going to divide each side by 3. So x equals 7. But they didn't want us to solve for x now. They wanted to solve for LM. And so remember, LM, segment LM, was equal to x minus 2. So we're going to say 7 minus 2, so 5. So we get LM. So segment LM is equal to 5. Okay, so again, why don't you pause the video and see if you can get everything on this page. Okay, let's take a look at how you did. So if you didn't get any of these answers, you're going to want to go to the notes key on the topics page because it has all of my worked out solutions. So you can see step by step how I got all of these answers, okay? So if you need more help, again, go to the topics page to the notes answer key. All right, so for number 9, when we solved it, we got x equals negative 5. 10 was x equals 12. Then remember, they wanted you to solve for x, plug it back in, and find the segment. So in this case, you had to plug it back in, and when you plugged it in, you got FG equals 12. So segment FG is 12. Here, 13, segment KL is equal to 7, HI is equal to 9, EF is equal to 10, and JI is equal to 9. So again, to see how I got for X and plugged it back in to see how I got for the segment that they wanted, in this case HI, you have to go to the notes key and take a look at all of my work. Okay, thanks for watching this video.